After a night spent camping in the woods, Perastyr and Elona are on their way to the township of Vannbury. What's going to happen today? I don't know. We're going to find out together on this episode of the Cheapskate Gamer.
Please can't tell you what games you get here.
Hello Internet and welcome to the Cheapskate Gamer. I am your story weaver, Steve Rogers. Yes, this is my real name. And no, I haven't watched any of the MCU movies since the Eternals. Maybe a while before I take any cracks about any of the more recent films. The Phase 4 shows were generally pretty good, although Moon Knight was confusing as hell. And I came away from that just one why do I care about these characters at all? So last time on the Cheapskate Gamer, we got away from the dungeon where the delve took place. Perastyr had picked up a campsite. It turned out that that campsite was no good because it was supposed to be too close to some bats, the lair of some bats, which actually turned out to be a complete panic on Perastyr's part. That's why things happen. So they did that. They found a new campsite. It wasn't a great campsite. We had another encounter with a dire skeeter. And basically, the bats went ahead and took care of that. So it was a real simple episode. Not a whole lot happened last time. Let's hope that we have a little bit more things happen this particular time. Because it's going to be a travel episode. That could be really frustrating and boring in certain role-playing games. Okay, so a couple things I need to go ahead and take care of real quick. I made an error in the previous episode. Whenever you're doing your skill checks in Cheapskate RPG, it's supposed to be, you have your attribute bonus, you have your stat bonus, but you're also supposed to add the character's level to the roll. So everything I did, it was the entire episode last time. I should have been adding 2 more points to each of the rolls. Now, largely this is irrelevant because of how things turned out, but Perastyr should have had a +2 to his roll to find that second campsite safely. And if you'll recall, he rolled a 5, he needed a 7 to succeed. If he had had those extra 2 points, he would have succeeded on that particular check. So here at the beginning of the episode, I'm going to let it stand because we've got that taken care of. We're going to let all that stand. I will go ahead and grant the party 1 extra experience point because technically he did pass the check, and that's, I'm playing the game. I'm playing my own way, so on y'all. Anyway, one of the other things I also bothered to check while I was getting ready for this episode, checking the map of the continent of Akan, I had said that Perastyr had said that Vannbury was half a day's travel from where they were. No, if I go back to episode 1, he says it's a day's travel, a full day's travel. And checking the maps, yes, this is actually accurate. So we'll go ahead and take a quick look at the maps here. You can see where they are. You can see that our spot is marked here. I'm thinking that Perastyr and Elona are currently around this little corner of these 3 hexes where there's a forested hill hex. We have our hills where the dungeon actually is, and then there's a plain hex right next to it, right where those 3 meet up with one another. That's approximately where they are at. So from where they're at, the village of Rothargwaite is about 24 miles to about 8 leagues to the north. That is a full day's travel. They can also go south to Vannbury, which is probably which way they're going to be going. First of all, it's only 21.5 miles from where they are if you count the hexes up. There's also, if you look at the map there, Rothargwaite is a village, is a small community. It's an important one because there's a crossroads that leads up into the northern reaches of Barbausa, and points to the west as well. But it's also not likely to have a healer for Elona, which is where we are on our plot threads. We're still trying to get that one taken care of. We're going to find a healer for Elona. Vannbury is 21.5 miles to the south. It's also a full-size city. It's a large city. So the chances of them actually finding a healer are going to be a lot greater there. This highway that they're along, it is the main north-south road in Perastyr, extends from the northern branch of the Royal Road, which is the east-west road across the country, all the way to the border of the neighboring country, which is called Vannbury. It actually continues into Vannbury all the way up to their capital, which is north of the city of Vannbury, right there on the border. So, let's go ahead and take care of some stuff here at the very beginning of their day. First of all, we got to start of a day, a brand new day. The party members are all going to have their rations for the day, so that's going to take out 3 supply from their currently available supplies. Now, Barbausa, the child, had some extra supply with him, So that's good. They should be able okay on that score for the day, as long as they don't get too much more into supply issues, because they are really running low at this point. I need to go ahead and also roll for the plague. If you recall, Perastyr still has the plague, and this is the first day that we have to deal with the consequences of that. We're still on the D12 roll. It's the first day, so a 1 or a 1 on the D12, and it progresses. The disease progresses to the next stage. All right, we're just going to toss that into the tray real quick. That is a 7. We have a 7 on our dice, which means that Perastyr is fine for this particular day. Tomorrow, it's going to be a 1 or a 2, and then it progresses on to the next stage of the disease. I also need to go ahead and set the weather for the day for the traveling. For that, I'm going to go ahead and use the generic generator that is in One Page Solo Engine. At least it will give me an inspiration for what the weather is going to be like. The generic generator is an action focus followed by a detailed focus and a how much roll. So we're going to go do an action focus real quick. 6 of spades. Harm. Mystical meaning or capability. I always enjoy seeing a 6 come up in that action focus thing. The detail focus. Oh! Okay. Another joker, which means we have a random event. Like I said, like I did last time when we had a joker come up, I'm going to go ahead and finish this particular set of inquiries, and then we're going to go ahead and get that random event taken care of. Jack of Diamonds with detail focus, that is going to be unexpected. Okay, so this is going to harm, mystical meaning or capability, and it is going to be unexpected, technical, mental, or operation. And now I need to see how significant we're talking about. And that's going to be a how much roll, a d6. That roll is a 2. 2 on that is less than expected, so at least it's not going to be terribly bad. Okay, so I'm describing the weather. It's going to harm, it's unexpected, and at least it's less than expected. What do I think that's going to correspond to? Well, I mean, looking at the map, they're going to be traveling through a couple of plains hexes, and whenever I live in the Central Plains of America, whenever I think of weather that harms in this part of the world, I'm thinking severe thunderstorms. I think we'll have at least one good thunderstorm that's going to be really damaging at some point during the journey today. So, being autumn, yeah, that doesn't matter. You can have bad weather any time of the year. Okay, so that's going to be our weather for today. It's going to be stormy. Now let's go ahead and resolve that random event. Random event is an action focus and detailed focus. Our action, Ace of Diamonds. That's going to be deceive. So deceive, technical, mental, or operation. What about the topic? 8 of Spades, knowledge, mystical meaning or capability. So we have deceive, knowledge. Whatever this random event is going to change whatever. Something's going to happen. It's going to be a falsehood of some kind. And I'm going to have to work out what exactly we're going to be dealing with that. Okay. Well, since I did roll a joker, I've now gone the random event taken care of. I have to shuffle the deck again. Watching me shuffle the deck is boring as hell. Can I trust you guys that if I say I've shuffled this 7 times, you'll trust me that I actually did shuffle it 7 times? Thanks, I appreciate it. And if you don't believe me, it'll be in the raw footage, so... Of course, I really have no intention of actually ever releasing the raw footage, so you guys are really just going to have to take my word for it. I shuffled that deck 7 times. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, you know, riffle it 3 times, give it a wash, then strip, shuffle. And that's what they do in Casino. I just do it 7 times, and that's how you completely randomize the deck. Okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get on with the scene. We go ahead and set the scene today. So my characters they're at the campsite, they're on the road, they're getting ready to head southward to the town of Vannbury. That's what they're going to be doing today. They are going to try to make Vannbury while there is still light. What's the complication? Get that on out of there. Okay, my roll is, Snake Eyes. Okay, so 1 and a 1. The scene is not altered. 1. Hostile forces oppose you. Okay, not only do we have a storm to deal with, but we're going to have some baddies to have to deal with it as well. Scene is not altered, so I can go ahead and proceed from there. I want some details about what kind of hostile forces I'm dealing with, so let's go ahead and get a detailed focus from the Oracle. Come on over here to the deck, And the first card off the new freshly shuffled deck, Nine of Clubs. Unsavory. Oh, okay, and it's a club, so that's physical appearance or existence. So, okay. Bandits. That's what it has to be. I mean, well, it is a major north-south road, so there would be a lot of travel. There would be a lot of commerce about it. So yeah, bandits make absolutely perfect sense. We'll have to deal with some with bandits in this particular adventure at some point. We'll have to figure out where exactly, and that combined with stormy weather, that's going to be pretty interesting. Let's figure out where exactly the encounter with the bandits happens. Actually, I'm kind of looking at the map here along the route that they're going to be taking. There is an area of forest that is just kind of there by itself. It's a little offshoot there of the Graveshire Wood that's up to the northeast. So yeah, actually that strikes me as a good place to have an encounter. So we're having to deal with the weather on the road. The first two hexes, they get to the woods. They're going to have to deal with bandits. Then the road south of that, there is actually an inn that's there. That's called the Vagabond Eagle. Might be a place that they do a short rest if necessary to recover from anything that happens there. And then after that's Vannbury. So it's a pretty straightforward little route. It's a combination of the smell of food cooking over a campfire and nature's call that causes Perastyr to open his eyes and get ready and see that the morning light has come. He stayed up another couple hours after the encounter with the dire skeeter. We hadn't had Elona go ahead and take the rest of the night to continue to keep watch while he got a couple hours of sleep. So he stands up from his bedroll, starts putting it away. He's feeling the morning air against his face, and he frowns. He takes a finger and puts it in his mouth and holds it up to the wind, and just kind of breathes in kind of heavy. He's like, the wind is coming off of the hungry slopes. We've got, if you feel the humidity in the air, this is storm weather. And Elona is over there at the campfire looking at him. It's like, morning. Feel like another day of rubaboo stew? I'd really like some real food for once. We need to go ahead and eat and get on the road as quickly as possible. I don't think we're going to have good weather today. You know, him being a ranger, he would probably know a thing or two about the weather across the continent. Especially, you know, he's talking about the mountains that are off to the northwest, that the winds are blowing off of that. Like I said, I live in the plains. That sort of thing can get you a dry line, especially when you got a sea off to the east. Yeah, that's probably going to be storm weather. So Perastyr is already in a hurry to get on the road. Even though he's just woke up, I'm sure he's going to take care of his morning business. They're going to wake up Barbausa, get her up, and you know how it is with the kids. The child never wants to wake up in the morning. Child, wake up, wake up! So they go ahead and they get their party, get the rations squared away, and then after they've all taken the time to eat, they're going to take a minute. They go ahead and get their gear, go ahead and store it up, get it packed up, and get ready to get on the road. You know, Perastyr is talking to Elona, and he's like, "How you feeling this morning, lass?" He's like, "I'm better. I'm still feeling a little groggy, but I think I'll manage." And so they go ahead and they get their camp wrapped up. You know, put out the fire and start heading toward the east, because Perastyr knows that's the direction that the road lies. So after they break camp, they head north to the northwest roughly for about an hour or so. They're kind of being slowed up. Barbausa is actually slower than Elona and Perastyr both, so she's determining how fast the party can actually travel right now. But after about an hour or so, they find the road and they start following it generally southward toward the town of Vannbury. You know, they're keeping them watch out, keeping the eye out for things. Perastyr is still looking up at the sky, and he's feeling the humidity on the skin, he's feeling the wind on the breeze. And he knows from experience, this is not a good day to be on the road. This is not a good day to be outside. This is the kind of day that you want to be inside, preferably with a nice warm bowl of stew and a cold beer. You know, you don't want to be traveling in this kind of weather. That's getting ready to happen. It hasn't happened yet. but it's going to later in the day. Does my party have a random encounter in this hex? Even odds. 5 and 1. 5 and 1. That is a yes, but. Mitigated yes. What is the nature of the encounter? Let's go ahead and do action and detail focus. Ace of Hearts. Deceive. 7 of Clubs. Deceive enemies. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Let's see. So Ace of Hearts, that's Deceive, which is a social personal connection. 7 of Clubs, enemies, physical appearance or existence. Deceive enemies. Okay. Well, it's a yes, but. So I think that likely the thing is, yes, they will have an encounter here, but not in the next hex. So I can just go ahead and skip over that one. Deceive enemies. I'm thinking we have an ambush that's coming up. I was going to have the bandits happen later on in the woods, and that actually would make more sense. Are there bandits here? Good question. Let's go ahead and go to the Oracle and see what happens. Unlikely, I think. 3 and a 2. 3 and 2. That's, yeah. No bandits here. Doesn't mean that they didn't have an ambush set up earlier. Maybe they come across the remains of an ambush. Okay, so this is something we can have happen while our characters are along the road. So Perastyr and Elona, they're walking along the road. Barbausa's with them. They're just kind of keeping up a steady pace. Elona and Perastyr, they have to slow down a bit because they are faster than the child Barbausa. I think it's going to be. Oh, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and do a perception, a roll for perception for each of our characters. So that's going to be communication plus mind, just to see which one of them spots the remains of an ambush first. I just realized I forgot to write down Barbausa's stats in my local travel box there. I'll take care of that later. We'll go off of what I've had on the screen last time. HD for this check. 6552. That is going to be an 18. Okay, so I need 18 to notice that there has actually been an ambush in this area. Perastyr is going to be making this roll plus 2. He needs a 16 or better to succeed. Elona is at plus 4 because of her willpower, so she'll need a 14 to succeed. And Barbausa is at negative 2 to this roll, and you know, of course, she's a 0th level character, so that's what she gets. She has a negative 2 to willpower. So in order for her to succeed this roll, she's going to need a nat 20. Perastyr is blue, and I'm going to make Barbausa purple. Whoop, purple. Alright, let's check the results. Well, that's got to be a fail all around. I mean, the best roll that we had there was Elona with the 13, but she needed the 16 in order to succeed. Perastyr actually rolled a natural 1. That is a critical failure on his part, and Barbausa rolled a 10. So, nobody sees the side effects of this ambush that's along the road here. I mean, well, I don't know why they wouldn't have seen it. Why wouldn't they have seen it? Anyway, well, I tell you what. Instead of figuring out why they wouldn't see, let's see what is the effect of their failure. Sparkle. Okay, we have a 9 and a 4. Oh, 9 is asset complication. That's a nasty one. The 4 would be to advance a threat. Okay, so advance a threat with an asset complication. Okay. The weather blows up at this point. Whose asset is affected? Let's do a D3 roll and figure out which one of our characters is going to be taking the brunt on this one. 1 and 2 Perastyr, 3 and 4 Elona, 5 and 6 Barbausa. 2 Perastyr. Hey, guess what, buddy? We're going to have some fun with some of your equipment now. D10 roll. Remember, he had 10 pieces of equipment last time. 1. Okay. Oh, it's its pack. Oh dear, that's not good at all. With an asset complication, the way that the Cheapskate rules are written is to succeed, but with a loss of a valuable tool or resource. This is not like whenever he got his fire starter damage. This would be something happens that destroys his pack. It's also the way that the Cheapskate rules are written. You can pick one or the other. You can have the characters fail or not. I think we're going to ignore the asset complication right now and just go with, we're going to advance a threat. So Perastyr and Elona and Barbausa are continuing along down this road south towards Vannbury, and as they're walking along, Perastyr he's paying attention to what's going on in front of him, but he's also paying attention to the sky because he feels he feels the moisture on his skin, and he feels the wind that's blowing in, and he just knows these are bad combinations. So he's watching the sky and he sees first a little puff of cloud forming up, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the sky gets darker and darker and darker. And as the three of them are traveling along the road, and Perastyr is like, I don't like the look of that at all. And he gets to the word all, and there is a crack of thunder. As lightning strikes the ground, not half a mile away from where they are. And it's just like that moment the sky just opens up and it is pouring down rain on top of them. But we also have lightning striking the area. I'm going to go ahead and do fortitude checks for the party just to see, fortitude saves for the party just to see if this adversely affects them in any way whatsoever. And in the meantime, all three of them were all so distracted from the lightning strike and where it hit and flash that as they're walking along, they completely missed this kind of corpse that's the corpse that is rotted to a skeleton off the side of the road. HD of the fortitude save. Oh my god, that is an even 20. I cannot cut a break with the rolls today. Okay, so let's take a look at what our bonuses are for a fortitude save. Oh, you know what just occurred to me? Mona has got 3 new levels of exhaustion, so we should be taking 3 points off her rolls. Okay, well, I mean, it hasn't made a difference yet, but I'll keep that in mind going forward. It's +4 for Perastyr. It's going to be a straight up roll for Elona. Ordinarily it's +3, but because of her exhaustion, it's going to be just a straight roll. And then for Barbausa, it's going to be also just a straight roll. Same dice as before. Here we go. And that is failure all around. None of them got a 20 on the dice, but what was he expecting? Okay, so that is, they have all failed the fortitude save. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna have to have happen in this case. So I think the saving grace in this particular situation is the fact that the weather is actually supposed to be less than expected. You remember that was generated. So it was probably not going to be, it's a storm, but it's not going to be a horribly horrible storm. So I'm not going to have it do damage to my characters. What I am going to have it do is halt their progress. Now let's see just exactly how long they have to wait it out. And for this I'm just going to do a quick how much one. Okay, so the dice roll is a 2. That generally means less than expected. I say 45 minutes. Let's make it an hour just to be even. They're going to lose an hour of travel time. This might make the difference between them making Vannbury today and having to stop at the end. Lightning's going boom! It's going boom all around. Lightning is just picking up, getting really intense. Perastyr is having to yell over the wind, "We're going to be traveling in this! Just get down!" And so it takes all 3 of them. They get under. They get down to the ground. The lightning's still hitting around, and boom! That's what you're supposed to do in a storm, especially in a severe lightning storm. You're supposed to get down, make yourself as low as you can to the ground. Hopefully, not too. You don't want to spread yourself out too much because if the lightning does strike nearby, it'll get you shot. But the 3 of them get it down, and Perastyr reaches into Elona's pack and pulls out the tent just so they have something to cover them up with. And the rain starts coming down. That's coming down in buckets, and they're getting, even with whatever rudimentary colored cover they have, it soaks them to the core. And it rains and rains and rains in buckets on them for about 45 minutes before it finally lets it completely. But after maybe about 10-20 minutes, the worst of it's over. You still have lightning coming around them. But Perastyr is comfortable enough. He's like, okay, I think let's go ahead and try to get up and try to get back on the road. We're going to be walking in the rain for a little bit, lasses. And so on they go. Well, that was annoying as hell. I'm probably going to have to pay some kind of price for ignoring the asset complication, but you know, because it is a choice. Either the rules are written where you can choose failure, or you can choose to succeed with the complications, and you can combine the two, or you can ignore one or the other. I mean, you're welcome to do what you want to with that. Thank goodness for that. If it was a mandatory thing, then this game would be completely chaotic. Next hex. Do my characters have a random encounter in this hex? 5 and 1. Oh wait a minute. We rolled that last time. It was already a yes, but answer. But the but being no, they won't have one in this hex. So this next few hours of the journey is going to go smoothly for my characters relatively. I mean, they're walking, they're soaked, they're probably getting a little tired from having to do all that stuff. But you know, they'll continue on. Okay, so we're actually on the third hex, which means we've reached that wood space, and we're going to have our encounter now with our bad guys. Then it's in the woods. Do you think it's going to be another ambush? Good question. I think that one's actually likely. Let's go ahead and take the roll, though. We have a 4 and a 3. That's a yes answer. Okay, so we're going to have another ambush along the road here. Detected ambush. Communication plus willpower again. Okay, that's easy. We're doing +2 for Perastyr, +1 for Elona, -2 for Barbausa. I swear to you all, there are other types of checks that are in this game. Let's figure out the DC. Oh, HD, excuse me. 6, 5, 2, 3, that's 16. It's high rolls today. Same as before. Aha! Perastyr rolled a 15, which means he's going to succeed on the check. Which is good, because the other two didn't. So as my party is approaching mid-afternoon, they're continuing along the north-south road along, and they finally start getting more and more trees along the side of the road. And Perastyr and Elona, they've been through here once already. They know that this is just a curiosity, really, more than anything else, along the road. It does pass through these woods that are here in the road, and it's so strange because these are really close to the border of the Dreaded Waste, a big desert that's just immediately to the northeast. And so they're walking through the road. They're walking along the road, continuing their journey southward. And Perastyr looks over, and he sees the remains of a wagon that's just kind of off the side of the road. It's been burnt. There's damage to the wheels. The wheels like themselves, they kind of look intact, but there's like, it was obviously a horse-drawn cart at one point or another, and so he looks at this burned-out cart, and he looks over at Elona and says, "What are you thinking about that, lass?" "Elona's a thief. I should have given her advantage on that roll. Let me do that again for her." She rolled a 4 the first time, and it's a 10 now, so she still fails. So she would fail to detect the ambush. But I think that she would look over at Perastyr and is like, I don't think that should be there. I think you're right, lass. Let's be careful, shall we? Elona's like, right. And she starts getting her bow out. Meanwhile, Perastyr's over here, has his hammer drawn. And Barbausa's in the back, thinking to herself, I don't have armor, and I don't have a weapon. Oh crap. It's Perastyr who walks up to the wagon, to the burned out remains of the wagon, and kind of is leaning over, peeks in, when all of a sudden 3 forms just kind of jump out there, and he's like, ambush! Action! Okay, combat time. Let's go! Oh, I should probably have mentioned something. I am an amateur board game designer, so I do have some spare parts of things laying around. I decided to go ahead and make myself a little RShot CBT to put in the box. It fits in there real nice, and it didn't cost me anything. So once again, not a sacrifice of the rules. I can always go back to the Ace of Spades if I don't particularly like this particular battlefield. Anyway. So, we have our combatants. Elona is up first once again with her high score of 13 on reflexes. So I think we're going to go ahead and see what how many action points she gets for this round. Okay, so she rolled 9. She's got -3, so that's going to count as a 6. And +1 to her reflex bonus, so that's going to be a 7. She's only getting 1 action point this particular round. That's an easy shot. She's just going to pick a guy and fire at him. Let's hope this goes better for her than this last fight. I'm going to go over to this guy over here on this side. She rolled a 7. 7 is a good roll for the initial firing of combat. These thugs, they have armor level 1. That's going to be 6 points of damage to thug number 1, so he is down to 9 hit points. We go to the next person in the order, and that's going to be the first thug. Now, the way this is going to work, all the thugs have reflex score 12, just like Perastyr does. What matters here is that they actually have a higher reflex bonus than his score, so they will go first in this round. With +3 to this roll, the first thug will get to take 2 actions on this particular combat turn. Let's see, what do I want to have him do? He's wounded at this point because he's taken an arrow. Oh, I needed to double check that too. Elona needing to make a reflex save in order to reload her bow. +3 ordinarily, so this is going to be at 0. And it has to be 7 or less. She rolled an 18, that's fine. Okay, so she does not need to reload her bow at this point, which is good. Now we go back to the second guy. 2 actions this round. I think I'm going to have him. We're going to have him attack Perastyr. That'll be an easy thing for him to do. We'll figure out what the second is to do. The second action that we're going to have him do here in just a second. Okay, so the first bandit has rolled a 4 on the dice. Perastyr's armor is level 3, so he's going to take 1 point of damage from that hit. I think the first guy is going to try to grapple with Perastyr, try to get him restrained so he can't get away. Okay, so in order to do that, it's going to be a physical plus fortitude check. These thugs are going to get +4 to that. That has to be compared against Perastyr's fortitude score, which is 11. A roll of 7 or higher on the dice, and Perastyr is grappled. That one did not work. Oh, sucks to be you. I think that there probably needs to be a consequence of that. I think that guy tries to get a hold of Perastyr, but he's still wet from the he wouldn't be wet from the previous rain. Maybe this guy's muddy because he's been in the ground, but he tries to get a hold of Perastyr. He sticks him. He tries to pull it, and then he's trying to get a hold of him, and slips and falls right in the dirt. So this guy in the purple, he is now prone, and that's going to make things a little bit nicer for Perastyr, assuming that we get around to that turn, and is going to be his target. Let's go on to the second thug. Once again, +3 to this roll for actions. He rolled a 3. 3 + 3 is 6. He's only get 1 action this turn. I think that this guy is also probably just going to try to attack Perastyr. Oh no! That's a 6. So we're going to have that's a critical hit. So Perastyr's armor is going to take a critical hit. So it's going to be 6 points of damage plus the thug's attack bonus. That's going to be +3 to 9. So Perastyr is going to take 9 points of damage at this point. So Perastyr he slipped. The first guy slips, falls in the gut. His buddy is over there next to him. He got his sword out and just kind of jams it up in there, and he actually gets past Perastyr's armor, and he's How does one grunt in pain and faux Scottish Dwarvish? What am I even doing with the accent? It's not a real accent. I'm a Middle American. I can't do Scottish. It's Dwarvish, okay? The third thug at +3 rolls a 13, so he gets 2 actions. I think what I'm going to have him do is actually disengage from this first two, because these first two guys have got Perastyr pretty heavily hurt at this point. So I'm going to have him disengage as his first action. +3 to this roll, he needs a 12, and he rolls a 17. So he is going to successfully disengage from Perastyr. And what is he going to do? He's going to move over here into the same zone as Elona and Barbausa. So, okay, so we have now 2 different fights going on in 2 different areas of the battlefield. Okay, now it's Perastyr's turn. He got hurt pretty bad with that first hit. Let's see what all he can do. +1 to the roll. He rolled nat 1, so that's just going to be a 2. So he only gets 1 action point to take in this particular in this round. We'll go ahead and have him stab the guy that's already been hurt. Going to be a D8. And that roll is, oh my god. He rolled nat 1. Let's maybe see if it's a critical miss. Three. Okay, so it's not a critical miss, but he does not do any damage on his turn. We're up to Barbausa. Barbausa hasn't got any weapons. Barbausa, however, is a spellcaster. She does have access to enough of the magic keywords to cast something. We're in combat. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time explaining how this works, other than that it is a very open-ended magic system that Cheapskate uses. She has access to the magic keywords Tempero and Corpus. Tempero allows you to make changes. Corpus means to a body, to a living creature. So she has the ability to make Tempero Corpus, to change a creature's body. I think, and this would be hilarious actually if she pulls this off, I think she's going to take this guy and Tempero Corpus him into a roach with the intent of stomping him to death, you know. So, first thing first, I gotta make sure, I gotta see what kind of action she has this round, so it's a number of actions. It's a straight up roll for Barbausa. She rolls an 18, that's gonna be 2 actions. Okay, so let me figure out this spell, how this is gonna work. Okay, so I think she is going to do +1 to increase the range to a target that's in the same zone. Another +1 to make it last 2 rounds of combat. So we're up to 2. We are going to be casting in combat. That's going to increase just the difficulty by 5. And then it is a Tempero spell, because she does not know the other 3 actions. That's going to double the cost, so we are dealing with one base, adding 2, that's 3, it's going to be 6 MP in order to cast the spell, and then it's going to be an 11 hit difficulty for her to be successful. It's -1 to this roll for her. This is a knowledge plus willpower check. She needs a 12 or better. She rolled a 15, and so she's in combat. She sees this guy coming up towards them with his sword in hand, and just instinctively raises her hands. Tempero Corpus! And the magic shoots out of her hands, hits the guy, and he immediately seizes and then shrivels. We're up to round 2 at this point, so it is now back to the top of the order. I'm also looking at my clock right now and saying it's time to let the kids out, so I'm going to go to day 2. Day 2 of filming here. It's been a while since I actually started day 1. Freaking cedars got really high around here, and I got, at the tender age of 49, pink eye in both eyes. It's kind of irritating as heck. Anyway, so Elona's got 3 action points that she can spend in this round. I think her first action for this round is going to be to aim. This will grant her a level of advantage on the coming attack. For her second action, she actually is going to attack. Now, before she attacks, what I'm going to have Barbausa spend one of her action points that she's got for this round to make a reaction to aid. I think how she's going to do this. We go over here to the combat. We have these 2 guys that are in combat with Perastyr. They just saw their friend turn into a bug, and they know that Barbausa is the one who did it. So I think what Barbausa is going to do, she's going to be sneaky. She's going to just kind of put up her hands like this, like she's getting ready to cast a spell. She can't cast the spell actually because she doesn't have enough MP left in order to do that, but they don't know that. So I think what's going to happen there, that's going to be how she aids Elona. She's just going to distract these guys, and they can get us off another shot. Okay, so that's going to grant us 2 levels of advantage. I think if Elona takes a shot at the guy in the purple, he's wounded, but he's also prone, which means that would cancel out one of those levels of advantage. We will roll with 1 level of advantage, and let's see what happens. Boom! We got an 8. That's a critical hit. 8 plus 4, that's 12 points of damage. That's going to be enough to take the purple guy, off the board. He is a dead. And we'll note that for purposes of looting the corpse. Elona still has one action left. I think she's going to go ahead. Oh, I need to go ahead and do a reflex. Oh, no, wait. She just did a critical hit, so she has to reload. After you roll a critical hit on a ranged weapon, you have to reload the weapon. So that's going to be her final action for the round. And we move on to the thugs. Okay, so now, status of the battle. The guy that's in the zone of combat with Elona and Barbausa is currently an insect. The guy who's left with Perastyr just saw his other companion just get taken out. I think we need to see if this guy is going to try to run. It's a simple morale check, and I'll do this with just a simple question on the just as a simple question for the Oracle. Do the bandits break at this point? I think it's likely. Okay, we have that's a 6-1. That is a yes, but they break. But that guy's going to take one more swing at the Perastyr before he gets out of there. Okay, so we'll do that for his round. He'll attack first, then attempt to disengage. Okay, so his attack. He rolled a 4. So he's rolled 4. Perastyr's armor is 3. I think Perastyr's going to go ahead and take a reaction himself to go ahead and dodge, and that's going to negate. He's got a high enough dodge that's going to go ahead and finish negating the damage at that point. I say that. Let me double check that. Yeah, take the extra point. So this guy attacks. Perastyr is able to dodge some of it, and his armor is sufficient to reflect it the rest of the way. Okay, so this guy these guys are tougher than they thought they were. They're just not going to get very good, easy money out of them people. Perastyr's broke. They don't know that. So, going to go ahead and try to disengage. Trying to disengage, of course. That's going to be against Perastyr's reflex score of 12. The bandit needs a 9 or better to get away. Oh no, he rolled 3. That means that he's wasted that action point trying to get away. Perastyr cannot get away from Perastyr. He's gotten too heavily involved. He'll try again. And then struggle, he does roll 11, so our bandit does go ahead and move away from combat. I think he's going to try to move behind the wagon, just, he's trying to get away. Finally gets away and just ducks behind the wagon. So that, hopefully that means he's trying to get away from Perastyr. Hopefully he stays hidden at a sight. Mechanically, what's more important here is that he is now 2 zones away from where Elona and Barbausa are, which means that he is out of range of Elona's bow. Alright, we're going to actually get up to the third bandit, who is currently a roach. So let's see, I think, there's not much he's going to be able to do. Barbausa probably, I think what she did was just change his body, but not any of his equipment. So all that stuff is just kind of piled on the ground now, and he's just kind of a skitter away. He's going to have to try to just disengage from the 2 of them. He'll be at a disadvantage because of his size. Okay, so between Barbausa and Elona, Elona has the higher score with a 15. He'll actually need a 15 to get away. He already gets +3 to that. I'll go ahead and let him keep it, but we are at disadvantage because he's a bug. Looking for 12 or better. Oh no! That is a nat 1. Okay, not only does he not get away, I mean, that is a critical fail. I think that in the process of trying to get away, he actually gets to where he can get stepped on by one of my 2 characters. Let's have him do a reflex save. Why not? Doug ordinarily gets +7 to his reflex save. I actually need to go double check the math on that one, but we're just going to roll this real quick. 6, 5, 3, 3, that's going to be 17. He rolled a 12. Let me double check the math. Okay, it's +5, not +7. I was looking at the completely wrong stat block there for a second. Okay, but long and the short of it is, he did roll just enough to avoid failing that reflex save. Hey, he's still got two action points left. Let's have him try again. We're still at disadvantage. Another nat 1. Okay, so that is 2 nat 1s in a row. 5, 4, 3, 1. That's going to be 13, and the roll 13 is on the dice. So yes, he will succeed that second reflex save. One more time. Oracle. Okay, 13, and that is a 19 So 19, 13 plus 3. Okay, so he actually does get away on that particular one. We're going to have him scuttle off away from the battlefield. Alright, we are up to Perastyr in the turn order. Perastyr's hurt. I don't know if he's going to go after this guy or not. I'm looking at Perastyr's traits here. One of them is actually his virtue. He is supposed to be merciful. I think that he might let this guy go. I'll go ahead and put it up to the Oracle, though. Does Perastyr let that third bandit go away? The answer is no. It's okay. He will be pursuing. So that'll be his first move this round. He is going to move. That's going to put him a little bit further away from the rest of the party. Never a good idea to split the party, Perastyr. But, oh well, I mean, you kind of pissed him off. You kind of put a hole in his armor. Second round, attack. Second action, attack. I hit it. Okay, that's a 6 on the dice. So no, that first attack does not succeed, but at least it's not a critical failure either. Okay, so now we're up to Barbausa. What do we want to do with Barbausa this round? You know what I think Barbausa is going to do is it makes you turn this guy into a road tree. He's scampered off at this point, but all his stuff is still in that same area with him. I think she's going to spend the turn looting. So we're back around to the top of the order. Let's see. Oh, okay. So at the first of this round, after Barbausa has cast her spell, she spent the round looting, but then it's immediately, as she was doing that, the other guy, the one who turned into Roach, turns back into a human. And he's still running for his life. I don't think he's noticed that he's back into a humanoid again. Well, I'm also probably just going to go ahead and, well, I would say, well, let's go ahead and let him go. But it's Elona's turn. Aim, then fire. So that level advantage on this. Whoop. Purple. She got a 6 plus 4. That's 10 points of damage. This guy had armor, but he doesn't now. So that's 10 points of damage to the guy who's running away. Plus 3 to this to see if she has to reload. 10 plus 3, 13. No, she only did 10 points of damage, so she does not need to reload. And can immediately attack one more time. At disadvantage, but she can attack. The guy is just about down. She rolled a 3. 3 points for her attack for range attack bonus. 6 points. He only had 5 hit points left. That second guy is dead. 2 down and 1 to go. We have, it's now the thug's turn again. He's still going to try to get away, but he has to start this round by trying to disengage from Perastyr. Needs a 9 or better. 3! Okay, so no, he does not disengage from Perastyr in this first attempt. Let's go on to the second attempt. And this time around, he's got a 15. Yeah, that's going to be enough. He will go ahead and disengage from Perastyr in this round. And with his final action point of the round, our third thug will completely remove himself from the combat. That is over. We have been victorious. Okay, so we had 3 thugs. These were ML2 characters. So there's 3 of them. That's going to be 6 experience points from that. Plus we had a doubling, so we're going to get at least 1 extra experience point. 7 experience points for the counter. That's not so bad. We also have, for the first time, looting potential. Now we've already established that Barbausa probably did some looting of one of the one guy who Elona, heroically shot in the back. We also have this other guy who's over there by the wagon. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can get off of him. So by the rules of Cheapskate, the very first thing you do whenever you win a battle like this is you go ahead and roll against the loot table to see if they have, how many gems they have. Now, our characters are below monster level 6. That's our baddies were below monster level 6. They defeated, they had 3 of them. So there was at least 1 doubling, which means they can make, at this level, a roll of 1d6 at advantage to see how many gems they can find off of these. This is going to be huge because gems are the primary money, and they're going to need it for staying in Vannbury if any length of time at all. Here we go. We have a 5 and a 1, which means they are going to find on these corpses 5 gems. This is very exciting. I was kind of getting worried about them. We also can make 1 roll on the supply die. So to see how many they can gain in terms of just raw supplies that they might have. For level 2, the supply die is also d6, so once again, we'll roll at advantage on this. And again, that's going to be 5. They're going to collect 5 supply. Now the last thing I can check to see is if there's any gear that's worth taking. I'm going to say that Barbausa probably grabbed the guy's sword. I'm going to make that a straight up Oracle roll, even odds. Does either of the two slain guys have armor worth salvage? And that's going to be 6 and 2. That is actually a yes. So I'll take one of their armors and we'll probably give it to Elona because her armor. I didn't actually tell you guys this. In that second attack of that second critical hit she took when she took the 3 points of damage, that rendered her armor completely worthless. I mean, it's down to level 0 with 0 resilience. So, you know, it's still counting for weight, but that's about all it's counting for. Perastyr might want a new fire starter. Does he find one? 5 and a 5, yeah. Okay. That's an easy thing we can do, and that's probably all the more looting we're going to do at this point. So the third guy has just, he realized he's out of his league with these people, and just takes off down the road just as fast as he's going, cursing all the way. And Perastyr is trying to hobble up, catch up with him. He's like, "Get back here and feed me like a man!" But eventually, yeah, the guy, he's faster. Perastyr is hurt, so he's gonna get, you know, he just finally just like is not worth it and lets him go. Meanwhile, and Barbausa and Elona have started, you know, going over these guys, looking to see if there's anything they have that's valuable on them. It's Elona who finds the pouch with the 5 gemstones in it, and is like, "This is going to be extraordinarily helpful in the coming days." And helps herself to it. Dead men don't need money. The two of them also find additional supplies that they can use for the journey. They're probably going to need it. I mean, even though they're probably, you know, Vannbury was the plan, but at this point they've been traveling for 7 hours, and they're tired. They're getting toward the end of their ropes as far as they can go for the course of the day. And so that actually is going to bring up a conversation between the 3 characters that I have here. "Do you mind explaining that trick you just did, child? That wasn't natural." "Look, I've only been able to pull that off like once or twice in my entire life. It really drains me whenever I do it. I don't know what causes it. I just happened to... I don't know what I did." "So you didn't even bother telling us that you could try doing something like that, child? Do you have any idea just exactly how rare a gift it is amongst dwarven people to have any magic whatsoever?" "I mean, it's fairly common around Vannbury." "Aye, but not around Krog Playa, lass." And one was like, "What are you talking about, Perastyr? The child is half dwarven. Did you not see that whenever you hired her? I thought she picked me up off the street because I was trying to pick her pocket." "What's that now?" Nothing. Don't worry about that." I bet y'all kind of thought that I'd forgotten about that deceived knowledge random event that we were going to have in the scene. I think that's probably going to account for it right there. We've now arrived at the hex of the Vagabond Eagle, the inn that is along the road here north of Vannbury, and we have reached the 8-hour travel limit for our guys. They will not be reaching Vannbury today. They might be able to reach it tomorrow, and thanks to the run-in with the bandits and having picked up the gems off of them, they will have enough money to stay the night. This, I think, we can call scene here. And with the end of that scene, I think we'll go ahead and call it here for the episode. Next time, we're going to be trying to see what's going on here at the Vagabond Eagle Inn, and probably on to Vannbury from there. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, I certainly hope you will give me a like, you'll give me subscribe. Still have a personal goal of 100,000 subscribers. Probably not going to get there doing this thing, but I might as well try, right? If you enjoy solo gaming, if you enjoy that sort of content on YouTube, why don't you check out some of the other channels that are here on YouTube. We've got Elona's Cave. It's an excellent program, good stories. We got Solo D&D. That's an ongoing campaign. We really do enjoy that one. We have the Tabletop Wanderer. He's got 3 or 4 different campaigns going on at the present time. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not recommend to all of you the granddaddy of them all, Me, Myself, and Die, Trevor Duvall's channel. We're still waiting for the Broken Empires. It's getting ever so closer. I'm hoping to see that one here and really soon. So, if you enjoy the show, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Cheapskate Gamer.